Hi! Welcome to the next episode of Carpenter, a World of Darkness story. We have our storyteller, Devin. Yeah, you. I just wanted to make sure if we were gonna be in whatever this is together, we at least know each other's names. My name is Dr. Grudge. That's not something cute. That's my name, and I am a doctor. Well, I look like I belong in the Midwest, but I actually grew up in this town. Taller, you know. I don't know, some rednecky looking fella. Oh, he's not the one who's dead. The other one's dead. I would like to stomp on one, yeah. Well, that's not the point. I'd just like to pick one up and put it in a sample bag. I'm wearing big fuck off gloves. That's alright. What is happening with the body? Subterfuge is lying. I'm right. I'm right back outside. Is there anything in my dossier that you haven't already mentioned? What numbers are successes? Nope. None. Fair enough. Anything that had not been mentioned by the other lovely gentleman. just like D&D. Only if you ask nicely. Would I, with my knowledge of the occult, have any idea what these spiders are? I got two successes on the spider knowing the culty.
From grating the cheese. The cheese broke off. Mommy, come here.
I'm gonna look up and wave. And anyone else here curious about them fellers over there? I say we start. Just maybe not all the way over there, but let's take a small bit of a couple steps closer. Oh, but spiders ain't a thing. Oh, to be fair, none of this is natural. You see our lady friend being impaled and not in a good way? I like to take out my camera phone and take a picture of the lovely fellers across the street. Twerk. Those aren't words. All right. I'll take this one. See what happens. Wait. Would this be dexterity? Would this be dexterity or stamina? Fair. Fair. I got 2 successes. 5. I am a choo-choo train of hatred. I'm going to go after middle feller. Oh, I was wondering what's going on. boy. Just the one. All right. Two. Oh. Two. Ha. Can when I walk up. Oh no, I was gonna say when I walk up. Oh, okay, fair enough. I walk up, I'm gonna watch him with the robe and just wonder. Wait, do we have some naked weirdo running around? Is that what's happening? Oh, we just went from 1 to bumfuck 100 here. So how does initiative work? Oh. Huh.
One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh,
Yes,
that's unfortunate.
But the sky was always here.
okay. Because of how these things are appearing, Jack, there is no previous warning until they're in sight. And maybe that leads you into drawing a conclusion about these things. But no, really, as far as anybody's concerned, these things weren't there until they were there.
Well, no, that's not necessarily what I'm asking.
Okay. Maybe I don't understand how that ability... Are you asking if they're dangerous?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Then explain that a little bit better to me.
I'm just curious which would it be tripping?
This would be tripping...
More of the tummy rumblies?
More of the tummy rumblies, but again, and this is like, because you're used to this sense about yourself, something you would notice right away. There was no pre-warning. It was, they were in sight, then it started.
Okay.
And you wouldn't notice that, because again, you're very used to this sense at this point.
Yes.
Okay, so give me 1 second, let me roll mine, and then I will check on your guys' successes. That is... Bupkis. Ooh, close. There it is.
That's a lot of dice.
Fuck me. Yeah, it's amounting to fucking nothing. So there's
It's a lot of dice and zip zero zilch.
Yeah, no, seriously, I rolled like absolute garbage. So hopefully
Thank
that'll
God he
work in
didn't
your
roll
guys'
zeros.
favor. So, Jack, successes.
3.
3. Let's go. Rudolph, successes.
Oh, sorry, 1.
Having to learn your own name. Connor, successes.
2.
2. Grudge, successes.
Not a goddamn thing.
Well, you and me both, big guy. Squid, successes.
5.
Holy shit. Okay, so the order is gonna go... Squid, you are up first as to how you want to act. So whatever you want to do, that's, let's see, big guy.
I mean, can I take that these things are threatening? That like this is about to be bad.
I mean, you can take this much. This is some fucked up shit. You have not seen anything like it before. And yeah, like the way they're moving, it doesn't seem like they're here to give you a hug.
Cool. I'm gonna pull out my K-bar out of its sheath.
Okay.
And how far away are these guys from us?
They're up by the car. So Rudolph would be the closest, though he would have to get out of the car. They're maybe within 5 to 10 feet of you.
I would probably ready a defensive stance and yell at Rudolph to gas it. Because if they're by the car, he might be able to hit one of them.
Okay.
Use the car as an impromptu weapon.
Clifton, you'll probably be my best resource for this. If I'm remembering right, defensive stance on this is not like it is in D&D. It's not a ready to action. It's they would take a higher penalty to their attack roll because he's defending, correct?
I honestly cannot recall. It's been a long time since I
I
did
believe
WoW.
that is the case, but I'm not 100% sure.
I'm like 80% on that, so that's how we'll treat it until I double check that. So I apologize if that ends up gimping you later down the line, Squid. But to my
Fair.
best recollection, this is not like D&D where you're readying an action. This is a higher defense stat that you now get to have. Does that work for you? Do you want to change that?
Clarification question. If I'm readying like on a defensive, is that gonna allowing me a higher defense stat with my second merit? If you look on my character sheet,
You're gonna make me pull stuff up.
I know, I'm sorry. Is that gonna negate my ability to use that? Or will that still be an ability? Because that skill or that merit in specific is to be used in case my defense stat is too low. If it gives a better, like.
Eduardo, where did you put those folders? Oh, I'm guessing in Carpenter. Yep, there we go. Never mind. I found it. Let me pull up your sheet. Your sheet is not uploaded into the proper folder because I don't see
Such responses reflection.
Mine or his?
his Squid.
So
Sorry.
wait, you're using the dodge action, I guess.
Brawling dodge.
Oh yeah. So this
Brawling
Yeah.
dodge only works for brawling or physical punching. Regular, if it has any weapons of its own, brawling dodge does not play into effect.
But he can still, because you don't know, you can ready your brawling dodge. You are ready to spring out of the way. So this is how I said it would be. This is a higher defensive stat.
Cool.
Right,
That's all I was.
Wait, hold on,
curious
Clifton, what's
about.
up?
Sorry, but I'm just asking. I don't quite recall how brawling dodge works. But does it affect the actual like dodge action, or is it its own thing?
It boosts.
So yeah, brawling. So the way brawling dodge works is I have the ability to use my brawl physical skill as my defense number instead of just doubling my defense.
Okay, yeah, that's
so
not
I get a brawl and a bonus with that.
Yeah.
So my defense is when I'm using it and it's applicable, it's a lot higher. Which means if this thing lunges at me and I'm in a defensive stance (parentheses there) because we're not entirely sure how I want to play that out and how it works out. Basically, I'm preparing for this thing to come at me and then get out of the way of it coming at me.
You're giving it the come at me bro look. And yeah, that's exactly how I
Kinda.
thought it would work, but you get an even higher one than I thought you would. So that's perfect. You were so Squid just kind of plants his ground and he's like ready for this thing to fucking charge him, basically.
And it's a passive thing whenever you're fighting. there is another ability called dodge that anybody can do, and that's
Right.
an action.
Right, but my brawling dodge comes in with the brawl skill and also with my fighting skill.
Yep.
As my like, hey, other thing while I'm readying myself is to yell at Rudolph to gas it. Try and hit this thing with the car. Like, you're in the car, you're already driving. If you can run this thing over, just do it.
I'm gonna.
Well, it's not your turn yet. Not your turn yet. You hear it.
Okay.
Next up is Jack.
I'm gonna draw my gun and shoot the motherfucker.
Okay. Go ahead and make that roll, sir.
Seven successes.
7 successes. Yeah, you have no problem. So everybody else sees Jack immediately busts out a gun and fires at this thing. The bullet takes it right in the head, and it goes kind of spiraling backwards. I mean, he's not using like a 45 or anything insane, and yet this gun seems to just wipe this thing to the ground, flying backwards, totally dead. So that guy is out. Connor, sir, you are up.
Okay, so Connor is going to run up to the one that is getting ready to attack Squid, and he's going to use...
Well, let's be fair. None of them looks like it's specifically targeting anyone yet.
It's just
Okay.
hissing and looking like it's about to attack.
Correct.
All right, so yeah, that one. Connor's going to run up and use his boxing merit combination blows, and so he gets to make two brawl attacks against this thing. So.
Okay, go for it.
Ooh, damn! That was like nothing on that first one. Wow. Okay.
So 0.
0 on the first one.
Okay.
Two on the second one. Damn.
2 on the second. No, your second one. You come running at this thing, and your first swing, you kind of fumble. The fog is really thick, and you're really caught off guard. But the second one, you rear back and slug this thing, and you hear an audible crack in its chest as you slam into it, and it just crumbles in your arms. Like it's very dead. It's beyond dead.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's gonna bring us to Rudolph.
Okay, so I was trying to say this earlier, but I'll just say it now. Rudolph, a tired, scared grocery store clerk, sitting in his
Peace.
beat-up old truck, has just seen a giant monster come out of nowhere.
No, so for the record, these things are about the size of like a medium-sized dog.
It's
They're like
relative.
pit bull size.
Giant's relative.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
giant enough. for
It's giant in
Rudolph.
his
He's
size.
tired and scared. It's giant.
It's bigger than it needs to be.
He just heard some gunshots and somebody on the ground telling him to gas it.
There was one gunshot.
Okay, a gunshot. He heard a gunshot, and somebody outside tell him to gas it.
Okay.
Gas it into the monster is not the immediate thought that's going to come.
So also at this point, Connor is also in front of your car as he ran up to them.
All right. Rudolph reaches into the back of of his cab, like pulls his baseball bat into the front seat, leans out and says, "No, you guys get in first. We gotta go."
Okay, so you're gonna hold for them to get in the car.
Yeah, he's actually going to like back the truck up so that he can have a clear shot out.
Okay,
Well.
so the car's just gonna back up a good 5, 10, 15.
And
feet, something like that.
if the rear bumper hits a thing, I mean, he's not going to complain.
Luckily, you definitely hit the sidewalk and you're up on the sidewalk, but luckily you have not ran into anything.
Oh, that's lucky.
Very, yes.
Yeah, it could have been a building.
Kind.
I was meaning like the things.
Benevolent. Damn.
No, so they're in front of your car. So if you're going reverse, you're up
Oh.
onto the sidewalk.
So was the guy.
Yeah, they're in front of your car. So if you're going in reverse, are you going forward or backwards?
Wait, so I thought there was a friend in front.
Yeah, so left at this point, after 2 have been killed, there is 1 baby monster and 1 guy in front of your car. If you're going in reverse, you're up on the sidewalk. If you're going forward, you're hitting Connor.
Can I? Oh, can I swerve? I can't swerve around Connor.
They're like in front of your car. Your car does not have the maneuverability to go around him.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, we're spinning around. We're backing around then.
Okay, so the car just goes and jams backwards. You all hear Rudolph shout for all of you to get into the fucking car. The next up is the baby, and the baby is going to attack.
Oh, why'd the baby
Connor.
go first?
Because you both rolled. Actually, because this baby rolled a 1, you rolled a 0. So that's fucking why, bitch.
That baby's a bitch.
Okay, Connor, what is your defense right now, if any?
2.
2. I lose 2 die, you piece of shit. I hate you forever. Oh my god, the one time I actually rolled decent. So you managed to punch this one, but the next one jumps and it just bites down into your shoulder with that big maw. 2 points of damage to you.
Ouch.
Bashing, lethal.
What type of damage?
This is bashing. Its teeth are sharp, but it hasn't totally penetrated skin. It's just more of a really fucking painful bite.
How do I mark that off on my health thing? There's boxes and dots.
You put the slashes in the boxes underneath.
So it's 1 slash for bashing, 2 slashes for lethal, and and basically like a star for aggressive.
Aggravated.
Or
Yeah.
aggravated.
Aggravated, yeah, okay.
That's if I set your bitch ass on fire.
Asterisk
Alright.
for aggravate.
Yeah.
Connor's gonna yell out, "Motherfucker!"
All right, Dr. Grudge.
I like to run up. Actually, my speed is 9, so I can move pretty quick, I believe.
Mhm.
I like to move up and get here Excalibur all over that baby's head.
All right, go ahead and roll for me. And their defense is 2, so you're going to take -2 for a melee attack.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is, I hate you so much. All right, here we go. Oh.
Wouldn't they have had to do that for the brawling too?
Nobody else. Oh, when no, it was. Oh, I didn't have him remove it, but it was still. It's fine. Sorry, that's my bad.
Apparently, I miss.
Okay.
I can get this over here.
All right.
These things aren't hard to kill though, so I'm not super concerned. But yeah, going forward, you are right. It is -2 for anybody doing any sort of melee combat.
Got it.
Yeah, so it's a 2-0. Got it.
Correct.
It's a little less ridiculous.
So Dr. Grudge comes up and he swings. He comes really close to hitting both the baby and Connor. And it's more Connor trying to like get out of the way while this baby is still on his shoulder that makes the swing just go totally wide and miss completely. So back up to the top, Squid, or actually, sorry, at the bottom of that round, you guys hear more clicking coming in from the sides. So one from behind the car and one from the same side that the other is already on. 2 more babies appear. We're just calling that we all get that they're not babies, right?
Yes.
They're like mini aggro buff dogs that have really wide face teeth.
Very humanoid though. Like humanoid in build with large front arms and just teeth heads.
I was informed. Gremlins.
Sure.
I was informed that we would be playing Killing Puppies for Satan.
So Squid, with these 2 more kind of just rolling out of the mist, it is your turn. And this horrible clicking noise. I cannot emphasize enough. This clicking noise is fucking unsettling. It's like something that a large bug would make.
Cool. I'll go. I'm still like 5-10 feet away from Connor and Dr. Grudge now.
Yeah, because you did not run forward, so you're still back a little bit.
I'll move up towards the one that's appearing at the back of Rudolph's truck.
Okay. Just keep in mind that, average truck, what?
It's like a Toyota
to 10
Tacoma
feet
sign.
long.
I have
you're
10 speed.
Yeah, I'm saying you can get there. I want you to know how far away you are from everybody else. Just, for anybody who's going to run to help him or anything that happens, it's going to take You have to go the car to get to him.
Okay. And attack this thing with my knife. See if I can drive my knife into it.
Okay, -2 because that is melee.
Do.
And with it being a knife, isn't that weaponry as opposed to brawling?
Yes, it will be weaponry instead of brawl.
So it's weaponry skill plus dice modifiers, right?
Plus strength.
Weaponry plus strength.
Weaponry plus...
-2.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I can still hear you. I'm just taking off my sweater.
Ah, shit! I dropped my D10. Oh, hey, if it landed on the floor, does that count?
The floor does not count.
God damn it! All right, that was a nice 10. One fail. I whiffed that. I'm not even. Yeah, we're done rolling. I whiffed that.
Okay. Give me 1 sec. Sorry, just talking to chat because chat is important because we love you. Okay, so as you come up with your knife, you go to swing, and this thing, the artful dodger that it is, just kind of, glides out of the way, and your swing just goes absolutely wide. Jack, you are up, sir.
Well, as more things are coming out of the fog, I'm like, well, I think it's time to go, but I'm going to run over to where Squid is, and I'm going to execute the baby by the truck.
Okay, no minus, because the range does not take a minus to this.
Not as close as I am. 4 successes.
4 successes, yeah. It's another, so, right as Squid comes up and swings that knife and you see a miss, Squid, from over your shoulder, you hear a loud bang, and that thing just gets taken in the head and goes spiraling off into the mist, dead.
Actually, this one was more of a shot to kind of keep it where it was. I wanted to retrieve the
downward angle.
Yeah.
But if you're hitting it that hard, really, seeming to take any chunk off of its body, I mean, you saw Connor punch this thing in the chest and kill it. These things are fragile. Think of it, what you're gathering is it's like a bug. Once you break that hard outer layer, they got a soft, gooey, sour center, and that shit just leaks out of them. So even though you are
sounds like
more
my
of a glancing shot, anywhere that you're hitting this thing on the body is enough to knock it back and make it go the fuck away. Also,
well, I noticed that on the first shot, and like I said, I moved up to where Squid was before I shot, so I would have been pointing straight down into the dirt.
Oh, you're not trying to hit it then?
I am trying to shoot it. I'm just shooting it close range, pointing downward at the dirt so it doesn't go flying off like a rag doll. I saw what it did the first time.
Oh yeah, no, even with that is what I'm saying. It's like they're lighter than air.
Oh.
Hitting this thing has sent it flying, gone. And
then I'm going to look over to Connor and go, can you grab your body? I'd be curious what these things are made of.
So sorry about that.
And then I'm going to hop in the bed if I have any movement left.
Okay. So we got Jack in the truck, Squid still outside. That brings us to Connor's turn. Connor, you heard somebody shout about grabbing the body as he hopped in the truck.
All right. So
you've also still got that thing on you.
Yeah, it's
like,
biting into my
shoulder.
arm. So I don't think right now, like I think Connor heard it, but right now he's just like going into like survival mode, and he's just going to use his
try to punch it off.
Yeah, he's going to use combination blows again and throw the thing onto the floor and then stomp on it.
Go ahead, roll it. Remember, it's -2 this time. Sorry about that last time.
Yeah. 6 successes.
6 successes, yeah. I mean, as you go to yank this thing off of you, you're finding it's really easy. You go, yank this thing, hit it, stomp it on the ground, and that stomp shatters it. Like, this thing just falls to gooey shit on the ground. Dead, clearly. I don't know if I made that clear.
Sick.
And that brings us to Rudolph. So what you're going to see, there's one in front of you.
Can I still get in the car?
Yeah, you haven't used a movement, so you can still go and get in the car.
Okay, Connor's gonna fucking bolt to the the bed and then just jump right in.
Okay. Panic run after just stomping this thing. You just turn and beeline.
Yeah, I'm like,
You're out of
fuck this. He's gonna say.
Who else is left on the ground?
So Rudolph, what you're seeing in front of you is one baby in front with Dr. Grudge, and then behind your car, another baby and oh no, that was that was the one that was killed. So sorry.
Behind his car is
it's
me.
just right now it's just Squid, Squid behind you, Dr. Grudge, and one baby in front of you.
Okay. So would it be possible to get at that baby in front of me without harming the other guy?
You can certainly try.
What would I roll for that? Would that be
I'm going to call that one dexterity and drive because you were precision trying to hit one thing and not another thing.
AKA improvised weapon.
This...
And I'm not going to give you a minus for this, but remember that success rate is probably going to be a little higher because you're aiming specifically. Actually, no, aim shots in this do take a minus. I'll call it a -2.
Oh, that's generous.
A car is big, but you're not having to go that far, and you're not going to be able to gain tons of speed. And seeing how easily these things are taken out, you know you just need to knock it.
So this would just be drive plus dex plus handling.
Is there a handling thing too? Is that a thing?
On vehicles, I'm not sure if I would be. Yeah, because with this, I mean, it would. I feel like it might even make more sense to do like acceleration, but acceleration is a stupid number.
It isn't handling more like you hit a patch of black ice and see if you can not crash.
No, it's part of the vehicle control as well.
It's part of the vehicle. I will let you add the handling, but I'm going to adjust slightly and call it a -3 because I'm still trying to be fair. But
oh, cool!
This is not an easy thing.
That brings my dice pool down to 2.
I'm calling it what I'm calling it. If you want to risk it, it's only Eduardo's character, so nobody cares. Love you, Eduardo.
Smooth.
Are we in jeopardy of being in the fucking bed of this thing right now?
I mean, it's only what he backed up a little bit.
He's 15 feet from them, so you're not going to get much speed
of acceleration.
Okay,
you're not doing anything crazy.
I mean, he's not in a F1 racer. He's in a beat up pickup.
Right. And you know these things are relatively small, so you might not even notice if we hit it.
How old is the pickup? Is it solid steel? Or are we gonna crush this thing right now?
1970s Ford pickup, solid steel.
I love
bumper.
that nobody is worried about Grudge right now. Like, no, fuck it, we've met him.
Ford, it probably won't make it 15 feet.
I actually got a success.
You got one success. I had a number in my head. You did not hit that number that was in my head. But in the sake of fairness, because this is not a fast-moving thing, Grudge, I'm going to give you the chance to roll a really, really quick dodge at a -2.
All right. The fuck is dodge?
There is a thing for this. Let me pull up my little sheet.
Oh no!
We're doing it live.
Isn't
Eduardo,
it
sing the
dodge?
Doing It Live song.
I don't want to fucking do this. It sounds fucking dumb.
But we're doing it live.
Went away in old world of darkness.
Sorry guys, I had a cheat sheet up, but apparently I closed it the other day, and now I have to find my fucking cheat sheet.
Isn't dodge dexterity?
I thought it was dexterity plus something.
It's the lower of dexterity or wits.
Oh, okay, yeah, go with that.
That's actually defense. Dodge is an action that you can take that doubles your defense.
Yeah.
And with him being next, so double defense -2.
All right.
Is that double 2 -2?
No. Shit.
Double 1 -2?
No, I'm looking at my defense here. Shit. So no, that would be 1 -2.
Okay.
So I get
So you're
hit
at
by a
negative
goddamn
chance
car.
die.
What is that? I don't know what that means.
Double.
He's
So
a
you
-1 dice pool.
You roll a chance die.
You roll a single die, and if it's a 10, then you succeed.
If it's
And
not a
if
10, you fail.
And if
Yeah.
it's a 1, it's an exceptional failure.
It was a 7, so no, I do not succeed.
So as he pulls forward, he definitely hits the baby, but he also clips you. Let's call it one bashing. It wasn't bad. There wasn't a lot of speed to it, but it's definitely enough to knock you over. And I'm going to say you can't run to the car this turn. You got knocked the fuck over by this.
Am I next to the baby?
Rudolph is getting out of the car with his baseball bat.
Okay. No,
now
well,
you hit Grudge, now you gotta go bat on him?
so
He did threaten him with a bat.
He did threaten him, yeah, with the baseball bat.
Hey, that.
So, Eduardo, on your turn, you can spend your turn. I'm sure you're going to get up. You are next to the baby, but the baby is very, very much dead. You're on the ground. You can't quite get into the car, but you can get to your feet after being winged. So I take it that's your turn is getting up. You don't want to lay there prone.
No, yeah, that's gonna be my turn. But I'd like to get a sample of the baby as I'm getting my ass up.
Yeah,
On
you
the
go to
ground,
try and...
reaches over, grabs
Like
the
I'm
baby.
wearing gloves. If it's goo, I gotta get. I'm getting goo
Okay.
on these hands.
So you're just going to grab a handful of goo?
Yup.
Carpenter, come to
Also
Carpenter.
known as a Friday night. Am I right, boys?
Come to Carpenter. Sample our fine baby.
Did Dr. Grudge used to work for Costco? Because he's really obsessed with samples. Curious.
So
I'm sorry, this
Wrong kind of samples.
at the end of the round, you guys hear more clicking, and 3 more babies come out of the mist.
Back in the car. Back in the car.
Yeah, fuck this. Let's get out of here.
Am I back on top of the order?
Yes, we are back on top of the order. So 3 more come out. Let's call it 2 on the Dr. Grudge side, 1 more on your side, Squid. So front and back of the car.
Can I run over and yank him up?
He's on his feet. He grabbed a bit, so he's like standing next to the front of the car.
Can I get in the car and get him in the car as well? Or
There's
in the
not really anything you can do to usher him into the car, but you can definitely jump into the bed with Jack and Connor. You were in the Connor's actually in the front, so just Jack is in the bed of the truck.
I mean,
just
can
grab
I
him and
dead ass
lift him in?
literally just pick him up and put him in the car and then hop in the car?
Connor's
Roll
actually in the bed.
In the back.
Connor's in the bed.
Roll me a strength plus athletics to lift this guy up and move him.
Tight. I left my D10 back inside. Give me 1 second.
You see the things you do to me? You guys remember that Sky is trying to join this. I'm just kidding. Sky,
I'm sorry.
again, I told you up front, you might not get in this round, but we are charging towards it. So
No,
sorry if you
no.
don't, but at least you're ready to fire next go.
I'm not
Well-
charging shit.
While Squid's going there to roll his dice, I'm assuming I'm next in the order.
Yes, you are going to be next in the order.
From where I'm sitting in the bed of the pickup, can I hop out, grab the one that Connor punched that is just crumpled on the ground and is not a bunch of goo, and get back into the truck?
So here's what's happening. You're going to run out and run towards it. By the time you get there, you can't find the remnants of this thing.
5
Okay,
successes.
then I'm getting back in the truck. We're getting the fuck out of here.
Okay. 5 successes should... where's my cheat sheet? Sorry. No, if I'm remembering right, yeah, 5 successes should be enough to even surprising to Grudge, you lift this sumbitch up and just kind of toss him into the bed of this truck. And then run back. Since you were at the front, I'm going to say you go ahead and jump into shotgun seat, since Connor said
Works
he
with
walked
me.
to the bed. So everybody is in the truck. Jack made his move. Connor, it's your move if you want to do anything.
Okay, can Connor look at his shoulder where the bite, where he got bit?
Mhm.
Okay.
Actually, as I roll back into the truck, I'm like, look, once we get back to the motel or get the fuck out of here, I'll take a look at it. Let's just get the fuck out of here.
All right. So, is there anything in the bed of the truck that Connor could throw?
Clifton, would there be anything in the back of your truck? Old beer cans,
Couple of empty
maybe?
beer cans.
You find 2 mostly empty paint cans, and bits of plank.
A deflated blow-up doll.
But it's a sheep.
No, notably no.
I'm
There
sorry.
are some mannequin bits though.
What? Just an arm? Hey, need a hand?
So Connor's going to do 2 things. He's gonna stick his hand into his pocket, pull out a bag of pills and eat one, and then just start chewing it like aggressively. He's gonna pick up a can and throw it at one of the babies.
So
Is
Connor
that kind
takes
of
his turn to
relay
get
damage?
loaded.
he just got bit by a fucking baby monster, and he's having a real bad day. So he
that
just
brings-
brings
Okay. Oh wait, I have a question.
in his pocket, and he just starts chewing one and fucking throws a fucking paint can at this thing.
Oh, are you throwing a paint can or are you throwing a mannequin hand?
Paint can.
Oh,
It
okay.
was, it was a
gonna ask if
mostly.
that was-
He said mostly empty paint can, so there's still some.
So
paint
that's
on
going to be dexterity plus weaponry. And actually, because this is still... How does this work? Would this still take defense minus? Because it's not a lethal, like, gunshot. It's just a thrown object.
It's just is the defense bashing, lethal, or aggressive defense?
It's bashing, and this would be bashing, so yeah, minus. You take -2 to this.
And wouldn't it be also minuses because of an improvised weapon?
Ooh, yeah, improvised weapon does take a minus in this game, so -3.
Okay, yeah, so I get nothing then, because yeah.
So
It's
after like
getting wrong.
popping a handful of pills, you just see Connor kind of like huck a paint can in the direction of these things that are rolling out. I mean, it misses, but it looked really cool.
Yeah, I just want to say, you know, like, we're taking a lot of chance dice, and I kind of feel like that means we're playing the game right finally.
Yeah, I will say, even if you have a 0 on your dice pool, it's still a chance die. You can
Absolutely.
still roll 1.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I have a question
Yeah.
though.
Yep.
So if Connor had thrown one of the mannequin hands, would that be a ranged melee attack?
Get out. You're done here.
I'm sorry.
Also,
sorry,
just
I'm
to let
sorry,
you know,
I'm sorry.
Squid, as you get into shotgun, you see like the faded outline of a shotgun that isn't there
Oh.
in the car. That-
So, Rudolph,
Sorry,
it's
that was
your
meant to
go.
be-
I'm going to assume that you just book it out of here.
oh yeah, everyone's in the car, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Connor is washing the pill down with a flask of whiskey.
Safety first.
Everybody,
Thanks, Bam.
everybody, lay down and go limp.
No problem.
Are you mixing
So-
uppers and downers or just downers?
As
Just
Rudolph starts to drive, he's just
Down
like,
is
you
all the
guys
way
are getting
down.
out, and as Rudolph is speeding away, you guys are seeing more and more clicking, and more of these babies kind of coming out of the mist, piling up, and Rudolph is just gunning it. He's getting the fuck out of here. He's not listening to anything you guys might be saying about it. And as you guys start to clear the mist, coming up in front of you, you guys are coming up to kind of a T intersection. And what's right in front of you, any of the locals would immediately recognize it as the local library. And as you start to get closer and closer to the library, the mist isn't just clearing from in front of you, it's clearing from behind you as well. Like all the folks in the bed of the truck would notice, the mist is just sort of starting to break up and recede and fade out.
I'm assuming you said Connor, or you said Rudolph is just not listening. We're getting to the library, but he's not paying attention. He's just gunning it, right?
Well,
Like,
but
just
he's gunning
going.
it forward towards the library.
Wait.
And we're at a T
So-
intersection
So
facing
as
the
the
library.
fog
He's
is
like,
clearing in front of you, the library is rapidly approaching as the thing in front of you.
Oh, okay.
watch out.
Yeah, I mean, he's slowing down so as not to collide with the library.
Okay.
Yes.
So you come up, you slowly, like, I'm guessing you're just gonna break out because it's a T intersection, and as you stop, in front of you is the local library. There's like a group of folk. Like it's late. It's kind of weird that folk are leaving the library, but there's like a group of like high school age kids leaving the library. Anybody in the bed of the truck would notice that the mist is even receding from behind you guys.
At this point, I'm going to just tap on the window and go, "Can we go back to the hotel?"
What? Are they gone?
Yes, everything's fine. They're gone. It's okay. Relax.
I don't believe that, but okay. All right. Flipping a bitch and driving back.
You're gonna go back. So the one thing that will occur to a couple of people, though, the folks who held the picture, which I believe is Squid, Jack, Rudolph, are all the folks who held the picture that was from the motel.
Yeah.
No, I held it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I
held
said
it.
Jack. Squid,
I
Jack.
handed it
I
to
thought there was
Jack.
one more.
And Rudolph was the last one to touch it because he used his brain power. Sorry, metagaming. He looked at it seriously.
Sure. So the library is the building from that picture, with the dead girl inside of it. That would be a thing that occurred to you. It's kind of serendipitous that this is where you guys would let out from this fog, is the place from the picture. You guys can still turn back to the motel. I just want to point out that that's a thing that would absolutely occur to you, is like this last major landmark of the town that you guys saw is sort of where you ended up after all this mist.
Well,
I so like rather than flipping a bitch, I say, actually, guys, I kind of need to do something here. I've got an errand to run the library.
I'm gonna look sharply at Rudolph from the shotgun seat and say, "An errand now? This doesn't have anything to do with the photo. Weren't you tired a second ago?"
Yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna knock on the window again and go, my medic bag is at the hotel. Do you really want to keep going when I don't have my medic bag?
You expecting to get hurt at the library?
Well, we have someone who's already hurt and had something bite him.
Connor's
shit.
I'm fine.
How about this? Oh, wait.
Yeah, let's not talk about the fella got hit by a car.
And we did have someone get hit by a car. I'd like to administer some first aid.
I'll gesture to stop all conversation real quickly. Wait. Stop. Let me out. Go back to the hotel, grab the stuff, come back. I'll be right here.
I am curious about the library too. I know the girl was in front of it. I want to inspect it as well. I just want to make sure that everyone is kind of patched up before we do it, because, you know, going to hotel didn't seem harmful, but look at what the fuck we ran into.
So the folks who've been injured, it's bashing damage. So nobody's bleeding. Nothing seems to be broken. It's bruises and things. And as a doctor, you would, a quick tertiary glance at them. Colin can still move his shoulder. Nothing's clicking. Nothing's popping. And Dr. Grudge was like knocked over pretty bad, but other than like some scrapes and things, nobody is
knocked the wind out of me.
Yeah, nobody's like actively bleeding.
His pride got more injured when I picked him up and threw him in the back of the truck.
And that's true. It's just more a matter of...
It was just my ego that got injured there.
Theory.
Yeah.
And I would just feel better having it.
When he stops, I'll get out of the truck. I say, go back, get your stuff. I'll be right here. I'm already out of the truck. I'm getting out of the truck right now.
Guys, it's a public building. There's going to be first aid kits inside. And he parks up.
Connor's gonna be like, Jesus fucking Christ, and he's gonna start banging on the window from the bed of the truck.
No point. Rudolph's not even...
you fucking pussy.
And I'm trying to put.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna hop out the bed and start walking back to the hotel.
Connor's gonna go with them.
Yep. Grudge.
I'm trying to put baby goo in a sample bag.
So as you go to start emptying baby goo into a sample bag, you're not holding anything.
Fuck.
You're not getting baby
like
all over my truck bed there, are you?
It's disappearing as it drips off of his hand.
No, it's already gone somewhere through this like really short, 5-minute sprint out of this fog. There's nothing in your hand.
Sometimes science sucks.
Oh, science is great. I've got all this adrenaline now. Really?
So, Grudge, just which party are you going with? Because it's seeming like we're going to do a party. Every GM's favorite thing in the world.
Connor's with Grudge, or no, not with Jack. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang out at the library. My vehicle's back there. I'll get my vehicle later. I'll be at the library.
We'll drive back. It's okay.
My vehicle later.
Okay.
Well, maybe I should give the keys to someone else.
Yeah, maybe someone can borrow your vehicle there.
I don't actually know any of you guys, but I mean.
Well, I feel we're right as rain now.
Damn it, Jim! He's a doctor.
Yeah.
You can trust him. Sorry.
The doctor's gone. He's already gone.
You
Okay.
gave the nice doctor conniption. Now he's got to walk it off.
As Jack and Connor start to walk off, unfortunately, I don't have anything immediately prepared for you guys, so we will resolve the library first, and we will get to the instance back at the hotel.
It's cool. They've got a bit of a walk anyway.
Yeah, exactly. You guys, it was a 5-minute drive, but that's going to be a bit of a walk. So the 3 folks who were at the library, again, as you've pulled up, there's there are 3 teenagers leaving the library in front of you who just saw you pull up crazy and stop in front of the library. And where you're stopped is not the parking lot at all. You're just in the street in front of the library.
We parked up.
Okay, so you go, you adjust the car, you park up. The other folks take off. And yeah, there's 3 teenagers who are kind of weary walking by your car.
Does anyone have the picture y'all are talking about?
I believe Rudolph had it last. Or did
Rudolph
you
was
just
the
look at
last
it
one
and
to
Jack
have it.
still has it?
I think I probably handed it back to who was the person
Jack.
who's
Jack.
really started it.
Jack was the one that
So
had it.
Jack
Okay, so
would
Jack
still
has
But
it.
who handed it to me though?
Jack
Who
handed it to you.
Oh fuck! Jack's got the picture.
The fucking worst.
So, side note, one of my merits, my first merit on my skill, I don't need the photo. I'm just gonna... Come on, guys, I know what we're looking for.
No, that's not the point. We can show it around to people, see if they've seen the girl in the photograph. Can you draw
That's fine.
it?
Didn't
Trust
you take
me.
a picture of the button? No, I'm not there.
No, I took a picture of the guys, but I don't have that photograph.
I pull a piece of paper and a pencil out of my pocket, and I say, "Start describing her."
I'll just take the piece of pencil and paper away from him and just grab it out of his hands and draw a quick sketch because of my merit.
That's. Oh,
Do you want me to roll for that?
I do. I'm going to say that's going to be intelligence and crafts to draw a picture.
Okay, what about eidetic memory?
So, I mean,
No.
you have it in your mind. Now it's just a matter of whether you can carry out the thing in your mind onto paper.
It's a stick figure. Look at that. It's pretty.
2,
Is that what you were gonna do, Christian?
3.
I was
Four.
I was gonna do it like a thing.
Oh, wait. So I don't have crafts. It's a -3
Right.
unskilled,
The
but I
minus
have...
3 unskilled.
So you had me the stick figure.
Well, no, so it would be a 3, not a 4, because I rolled 3 10s.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a decent enough picture. You can get your point across with it. Nobody's gonna look at it and immediately be like, "It's Bob Barker," but you can get a good description of the person down with it.
All right. The teenagers, have they left?
I mean,
Dude.
they're I mean, I guess in the amount of time it takes him to sketch a picture, yeah, they'd probably be gone unless you want to stop them while he's still sketching.
No.
I just want to say, Squid.
Which is
That's
That's not
took
creepy or anything.
You took the role for the one thing that my character is good at.
we got Picasso over here. I'm gonna grab this sketch and walk into the library. Is there someone at the front desk?
So as you start to head up to the library, there's actually somebody at the door about to lock up the library. It's an older woman, not old, but older, probably early to mid 50s, graying hair, kind of like a very conservative pantsuit kind of dress.
I'm gonna put on my best smile and very charmingly come up and say, "Ma'am, may I bother you for a second?"
Operating hours for the library are long since overdue. We had a special group who comes in once a week. They are a special exception. You will have to wait until normal operating hours tomorrow.
I just have a question for you, actually.
Very well.
Have you seen this girl around here?
Have I seen a pencil sketching of a person? No. Have I seen somebody who looks like this? Possibly, I suppose. Why?
Not that part. We were just looking for this girl. She may be in some sort of trouble, and we're trying to help her.
What sort of trouble? This town has lots of trouble in it. Most folks who live here have learned to handle themselves like proper adults.
Shut up, Cheryl. I know that's a jab at me.
Roll me a, if you want to know if you know her, can you roll me a quick intelligence and streetwise?
Sure. I do not.
Squid, you could probably do the
I do have
same.
streetwise.
Cool.
I got a success.
One success. Squid, what'd you get?
Of course, now that I'm
4
gone,
successes.
wise rules happen. Fuck.
Rudolph, you would just know her as Miss Jenkins, the library. Squid, you would know her a little better. This is Tabitha Jenkins. She has run the library for, like, years. As long as you can remember, this has been the local librarian.
Just Tabitha.
All right, take it. She comes and has a drink at the bar sometimes.
Yeah, every once in a while. She's been known to hang out with some regulars at the bar.
Always red wine, which is why we stock it.
Does Tabitha like sports ball? And
Are you just going to ask this in front of her?
And would she recognize me? Because that's the important part.
No, she would
I'm
not
gonna
recognize you.
quickly interject and say, excuse me, Miss. What's her last name again? I'm sorry.
Jenkins.
Excuse me, Miss Jenkins. What my friend here is saying is true. We are actually looking for someone. We're trying to make sure that she's okay. If we could just have a moment more of your time. I know you're trying to lock up the library. I apologize. If you have any information that could help us out, I'd really appreciate it.
She kind of pauses for a moment, kind of looks at the group in front of her. Very well. I already have one staying in late, wasting my time. You might as well come in. She just kind of, pops the door open and starts heading inside and leaves it open for you guys.
As she continues to, as she heads back inside, I'll say, "Thank you. Your next drink's on me." As she, as I follow her in.
All right. As you guys start to head into the library, the locals would notice it, but Grudge, you're noticing it's actually a really nice library. Very well kept. A lot of books for a local library. This is a big 2-floor library. Very well kept. Very pristine. This library is one of the things that the town could actually brag about, is what you're noticing.
Okay.
And as you guys walk in, you guys head in. She kind of goes and, is doing a little bit of tidying up, but clearly clearing a space for you guys to sit. And what you notice, just kind of at a table with her nose buried in a book, Jacob, you want to go ahead and just describe what they see sitting at the table? What does Sky look like?
Blonde, very busty, very pretty. Looks like she could work some on the side.
That cannot stay.
But as for right now, very much keeping to herself, just kind of nose buried in a book looking at something. And very out of place in a library. You're kind of like...
What's the cheerleader doing homework?
Right, like this chick is holding up the library being open right now. It's a little odd. But Tabitha just kind of goes and, props herself up against one of the tables. Okay, what are you looking for? Or who, I suppose?
I'm going to turn and look at Rudolph and mutter to him, the photo. What do we need? What's the information that we're looking for?
Well, we should probably find out when was the last time she saw her. Yeah. But it sounds like she's not even sure who she was. Let's ask this girl. So, Rudolph is going to take
as you guys
picture.
start to walk away to tap the other girl. Really? Not even? Okay. I'll be here,
What?
not going home.
You just walked away from Miss
Well,
Jenkins.
no.
I'll turn and start talking.
No,
to
he
Miss
didn't
Jenkins,
actually go.
apologizing.
Oh, the other girl is like on the other side of the room. She's not near you.
all right.
Yeah. She's kind of in a
Alright, never
corner,
mind
nose
then.
buried in a book.
We'll get to that then.
Okay, fair enough.
See what
Do
information
you-
Miss Jenkins can get.
Yeah. Do you have a? Can you put a name to this face? I mean, we're not really sure.
Best as I can tell, I suppose this might be Shelley Jacobson. It's a close enough approximation, but it's a big town. I have no reason to assume anything.
Could I try to touch up this sketch?
Sure. What are you going to add to it? Is there any specific detail that you're going to add?
Because
it's a black and white sketch. Jack was actually the one who did the most thorough investigation of the body, and he never said out loud anything he found.
Right.
So the only things you guys would notice, mid-20s, maybe early 30s, blonde hair, slender build.
Can I use my eidetic memory to describe anything particularly striking about her to him if he has better artistic capability than myself?
You didn't notice anything in particular as you didn't take a very close look at the body.
Okay.
Ma'am, when was the last time Shelley was he in your library?
Shelley was a friend and a regular. She was here often. I suppose the last time was 2 or 3 nights ago. She met me here. We went out for a drink at this one's bar.
Oh, right. That was Tuesday, right? You guys came in.
Tuesday sounds about right.
I sort of lean into Dr. Grudge is nearby, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys are all near each other.
Yeah,
Could you Google this, Shelley? Maybe we can find a picture.
I guess I'll look her up on my smartphone and see if I can find her Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah. Sure.
Roll me intelligence plus computers. Because just doing a
Which-
general Google search for a Shelley Jacobson is a lot different than doing a targeted search on social media.
Well, it'd be Shelley Jacobson and the cross.
But you get what I mean. That's not how this works. So you gotta roll.
I'm rolling. Goddammit.
Shelley Jacobson, Carpenter, Oregon.
But you've asked him to do it, so this is his role.
Shelley Jacobson, Carpenter, Oregon. I said it out loud now. See how that works.
now you're backgaming.
I got 1 success.
It's a pretty common name. There is a Shelley Jacobson in Carpenter. You find like a Facebook profile for her.
And ma'am, this is Shelley who we're talking about, yeah?
Yeah, well, and yeah, the one from Carpenter is the one you're pretty. I mean, the body was very pale, very dead, but you're pretty sure it's her. And she goes, "Yes, that's Shelley." Correct.
And nights that she wouldn't be going out for a drink with you, would she be particularly interested in a field of study here at the library?
Shelley did sort of odd jobs all over town. Kind of a girl about town. Didn't grow up here. Moved here a few years back. Looked into things. A lot of town history, like many do. Many are drawn here because of our, let's call it, unique history. She was just as interested as any other tourist or newcomer.
And if I were to follow in her footsteps, research-wise, what section would I find myself in?
This is a very odd line of questioning as to why you're looking into a friend of mine. May I inquire as to why you're so interested in Shelley? You can see how I would be hesitant to give 3 random strangers a whole lot of information on how to find a friend.
Well, 2 strangers and an acquaintance.
Fair.
It's more of a we're trying to figure out what kind of trouble she could have gotten herself into. I don't necessarily need your home address from her or anything untoward.
I believe that there are services that can be provided for people who find themselves in spots of trouble, and the library is not normally one of them.
Would I?
Maybe not.
If I were to roll Streetwise, would I know what she's talking about?
You can always try.
Cool. I'm gonna take a roll for that.
Streetwise and intelligence.
Cool.
Just talking about the police.
She very well may be. 3.
Three? Yeah, I mean, this to you just sounds like somebody who's concerned about a friend and more trying to push you towards calling an authority figure if her friend is in danger. And at this point, the conversation is getting a little heated, so Sky, this would kind of catch your attention, as right now what you're actually looking into is a little bit about the history of this town. So you might have perked up a little bit and started to at least eavesdrop in on this conversation.
I'll keep my nose in my nose program. I'm going to be listening as best I can to what they're saying.
Okay, yeah, keeping your head down, but just sort of listening in, basically.
Oh, those were words.
Yeah, I had no idea what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, you are a little bit fuzzy, Jacob.
It's kind of hard to hear Jacob, and B, if he continues to talk in this voice, my character is I'm gonna be busting up laughing for every session we have. I cannot contain myself at how he sounds right now.
Hey, he's getting into his character, and you've got to respect it.
Yep.
I respect it.
I just can't take it serious.
I just
I
can't.
feel like
I'm trying.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. He can talk however he wants.
Sky, is that just you making a voice, or are you using a filter?
It sounds like a filter.
Yeah.
Filter.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
I'm not good at voices, so I figured, hey, it's just software. I'm on a computer.
You know, you can just
Voice, and it is not easy.
you can just talk in your normal voice, and
Yeah, that would sound better.
we can use our imaginations.
In the essence of being able to better understand you, I support that idea. In the essence of humor, I think you should occasionally switch back to the filter.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I know exactly when I'll use a filter then.
Yes.
So,
All right.
we're starting to run low on time. So just, for what it's worth, Connor, Jack, I don't know that we'll get back to you guys in time, but we will see where we get. But just be aware, you guys might be sitting out for a bit of this. So, but yeah, so where you guys left off, she's perking up and starting to listen. None of you guys would really notice that because she's keeping it low profile, and you guys are locked in conversation with Miss Jenkins.
She tried to contact us, but well, I don't really understand why.
She contacted you.
Yeah, like on the phone.
I got an email.
I guess she knew I didn't have a computer.
What did she contact you about exactly? If she's soliciting some sort of service, perhaps you'd want to contact her directly? I would imagine if somebody's contacting you, she'd have left a number or an address.
Before either of them can say anything, I interject quickly. She also tried to contact me, but she left information as to where I was supposed to be meeting her, but I wasn't able to meet her at that place. And so I'm worried about her. And I'm going to roll a little bit of... I want to roll for persuasion, because I know what's happened to Shelly, but I don't want to be breaking the news to her friend. Like,
Wouldn't
hey,
that
your
be
friend's
subterfuge?
dead, and we're looking for you. We're trying to figure out why.
Let me pull up my cheat sheet so we can see how this kind of... Unless anybody knows, let me pull up my cheat sheet and see how this encounter goes.
Yeah, which stats am I using to roll for that?
I would think that would be subterfuge, wouldn't it?
Subterfuge, yes.
As well as what, persuasion?
Yep.
Subterfuge and, like, manipulation.
Yeah, I would say manipulation and subterfuge.
Yeah, correct.
So is this a social seduction we're talking about? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yes.
I'm relying a little bit on the fact that I know Miss Jenkins a little bit better than
so then, yeah,
the
this would
two
be
of you.
manipulation and persuasion.
Sorry, my laptop is suddenly...
Why would you roll two? Would that be persuasion? Because
No, it's subterfuge
lying.
more than persuasion, because you're
So it's a subterfuge roll, but I'm trying to persuade her to answer the questions. Does that make sense? I'm trying to give her a reason as to why 3 random dudes or 2.5 random dudes are like asking about her homie.
Right, but you're doing that through false pretense.
Yes.
Well, partially.
You're
basically I'm choosing to omit the fact. I'm lying through omission about the fact that I already know what happens to Shelly Jacobs, and I'm trying to figure out.
This is Devin's call.
Yeah.
I would say it's the subterfuge more. You are trying to hide things, and subterfuge is typically used in a social situation where you're not being entirely forthcoming.
Fair. Am I taking a negative for like lying to her face? So what am I rolling?
Are you trained in it?
Well, I mean, if I'm not trained in it, then I'm gonna have a negative there, yeah. But I meant like, what am I rolling against her? Am I just rolling against?
Sorry,
her
I'm trying to look
pool?
up what you're rolling against, but my computer's giving me shit and throwing a pop-up every couple of seconds because it's an asshole.
I actually have the book here, so I'll just look up.
Yeah,
the
if anybody
skills.
can find it before me, sorry. Like, it literally was not doing this seconds before I fucking picked it up, and now it's pissing me off.
Too many burns.
Subterfuge.
It actually,
Okay.
legitimately, it's my antivirus that's being an asshole right now. I'm like 3 seconds from fucking uninstalling it because it's pissing me off.
AVG.
Avast. Unfortunately, I should have gone with fucking AVG.
No, they're both terrible. Get rid of both
They
of
are. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
they're-
gonna do.
There are no
Curiosity.
specific examples for just straight up lying. And
It's typically versus a resolve.
Yeah.
You're trying to outdo her mental fortitude.
Would it be wits or resolve?
It's resolve. Because resolve is the defensive trait.
Ah.
So we'll do. I'm just going to give you a straight -2 on it because that's her resolve. That's what we're going to call it for now, in the sake of just moving things along.
Cool. I'm gonna have to take a
Just get a
chance on it then.
success.
A chance roll on it.
Okay.
Oh shit!
Oh, all right, it worked. Success. Do I roll again because I got a 10?
No, with the chance die, it's. Does he roll again? I thought it was just
Wait.
10. He succeeds.
I thought you get one. I thought you get to reroll.
Yeah,
or-
re-roll it. Fuck it. Let's see what happens.
Does the second die go back to 8, 9, 10?
Yeah, 8, 9, 10.
7, 8, 9, 10. All right. 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay.
Damn.
So sorry. How are you presenting this to her?
I explained to her that I had received a phone call as well, and that she had asked me to meet at this location, and that when I did, I went out there, and that I wasn't able to quite figure out what was going on, and I was still looking for Shelly Jacobs, and I was looking for any information that could. I found signs that she had been there, and we found this photo that we don't have the photo right now. I'm just explaining a little bit of the whole situation,
Sure.
but omitting the fact that Shelly Jacobs is dead, and that's why I'm trying to figure it out.
Well, to be honest, Shelly has been known to get herself into trouble around town before. I wish I could say I was surprised. Where she's currently at, I couldn't tell you, but I suppose I could give you her address, though it does seem to change. She didn't come to town in the best of situations, but we did form a friendship of sorts. We've gotten close over the last year or so that she's been here. Sorry to see that she's found herself in the same sort of trouble.
Thank you, Mrs. Jacobson. I appreciate it. We're really just trying to figure out what's going on, because it seems like we've all received some sort of communique from her, and we're trying to figure this out. I know it's not the best of situations, and I know that this is probably very strange to you. I appreciate your help.
Ma'am, just to add a little bit of context, she actually reached out to me in a professional sense, and this is why I'm inquiring about her line of research. See, I'm a professor here at the college, and the type of research that I'm conducting is the same kind of research she inquired about. So I was wondering what kind of things she may have looked at here in the library to give me an idea of what she was looking into.
And what exactly is your field of expertise?
Theoretical physics.
I see. Well, let me see what I can find as far as where she's been staying most recently. As far as what she's been looking up here, theoretical physics is adjacent. Unfortunately, most of the books she gets come from our charter members section. She's managed to work enough odd jobs in town to get herself a regular pass into there. Rudolph and Squid would know this, but this library has what's called the charter members section. Basically, investors in the library, people who put up their own money, can get to a section in the back of the building that is reserved only for people who are members of this, and it's where a lot of like the first edition or rarer books that this library has come into holding are held, and you cannot check those out unless you're part of the charter member section. So when she says that, that is a thing that you would just, you know, growing up in this town, being around this town, this is something you would know about.
Are we able to look at them inside the building as long as we do not check them out?
No.
Okay.
The charter member section is exclusively for the charter members. It's part of why this library is as well kept as it is because of the investors and the regular memberships that people pump into this. And, you know, just, again, being around town and knowing this, it's expensive. It's, like, weirdly expensive to be a member of the charter members section. Like, kind of bizarrely.
Would, off the top of my head, would I know any charter members? Just any regular barflies, people who stop by the club?
As far as
I remember that for whatever reason?
You would, not like knowing that they are, it's not like something people walk around and brag about, but there are some more affluent members of the town who you would assume are the people who are supporting this kind of thing.
For sure.
But it is weird that somebody as transient as her would be
Has
a member.
charter
Like,
membership.
it's, yeah, but it, you know, she said she's scraped together the money to get in there. So looking back at you, Dr. Grudge, I suppose I could look through the last couple books she's checked out and at least give you some reference names for it. You'd have to give me a minute, and while I'm looking that up, I can see if I can remember where she was staying last.
That would be mighty
Have
kind
a place
of you,
to
man.
start.
Thank you very much.
Indeed. So she's gonna, she walks off. She's actually heading more towards like the front desk area than she is towards that charter member section for right now. Sky, if at any point in this you want to pipe up, let me know. Do not feel pressured to. You have no reason to. Just, you know, if any of this is catching your ear, and you and I will work on your background with the town a little bit more. I know you only have a loose sense of who your character is right now. We'll work on that. We'll get a tie-in for you into this situation in a bit. But if you do feel like jumping in, feel free at any time, okay?
All right. Out of curiosity, I look around to check the males out.
Okay.
And do any of this?
Oh, by the way, I'm pretty. I'm really pretty.
What's
Are
your
you
present?
Striking.
I have a presence of 3.
So yeah,
So do I.
they're both like fairly good-looking dudes.
Yeah,
Oh, shit,
I'll
are
walk
we
over to ask
all
out.
attractive?
Are you as well, Rudolph?
Rudolph also has a presence of 3.
Y'all are
Okay,
sexy
so
motherfuckers.
3 sexy dudes
Oh, this
roll
is-
in to
Yeah,
talk to this old library lady.
Rudolph is kind of the lazy sexy though, you know. His clothing is kind of baggy.
Oh, this
Right.
is,
I'll be
this
more
is
like
the
in-
show Supernatural, son.
I'll be more like intimidating sexy. I'll be more like intimidating sexy.
Okay, yeah.
Look, he's so rugged.
Also, I should mention, Rudolph. I didn't realize that before the session, before we started this, that Squid was a barman. Oh yeah. Oh, you're a freaking bouncer, right?
I'm the bouncer
Yeah.
at the local dive bar.
Yeah.
Actually, I
you-
can give you the name of that bar, I think. Give me a sec.
Don't tell me, my character wouldn't know.
You've probably actually met Rudolph before.
I've probably gotten in fights at his bar.
So you tell me if I had to throw you
I'm
out.
saying this.
The
No,
bar is
I-
actually one of the locations that I did not name, so give me a second.
A name, I'll write it.
It's called the
write it down
Wispy
somewhere.
Willow.
It is not called the Wispy Willow. Go fuck yourself.
Is Stripper Apple there by chance?
He's just mad that I thought about it before he did.
You actually have had to escort Rudolph out before, but you know he never really fights. He just sort of like, it's usually by that point he's usually just sort of docile and limp and going along.
Well, the way I look at it is if I've had to escort you out, if you don't bring trouble back the next day, then it's a fresh day and I won't remember you as much.
So while the bar used to be named after the owners, it was originally called Pete's, trying to capitalize on the horror theme of the town and not being a very creative person. A few years, 2-3 years back, Pete just renamed it to the Dark Tavern, trying to pick up on some of the spooky aspect of the town. And literally, there was like an audible groan as it started going through the rebranding among the employees of the bar.
So most of it's just called the tavern.
Yeah, most if it's not just being called Pete's by folks who've grown up there and really not being interested in the bullshit he's slinging around, it's either the tavern, Pete's, but the signage around it says Dark Tavern.
Oh, hey, you work at Pete's, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Oh
But you
man,
guys cut off. Sorry, he was
sorry,
being approached by a busty blonde lady from the back of the library.
Who, if you're curious, has a presence of 4.
Okay.
So sexy as a motherfucker.
Also, just so you know, there is actually a merit called good looks.
Striking looks. I have it.
Oh, you do? Oh, you did take it. Okay.
I have striking looks too. I'm goddamn pretty.
This guy's sexier than all of us.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty as fuck.
All right, so the busty blonde woman is walking up towards us, and
hi.
I ask you guys what you guys are doing in a library at this time of night.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
books,
sounds like a come on.
I mean, you don't know my background yet.
Fair enough.
I'll kind of give her a quick once-over and look back toward and note that she's exceptionally beautiful. But my interest is far more in the information that Miss Jennings has for us.
Jenkins.
Miss Jenkins.
Have you seen this? Have you seen? I actually sort of tug on Dr. Grudge's phone. I try to turn it towards Sky. Have you seen this woman before?
This was not somebody that you would recognize, Sky.
Yeah,
Not
you
at all.
definitely don't recognize Dr. Grudge's lock screen.
Why do you still have my phone?
Oh, sorry. I didn't have it. I was just sort of tugging it along, still in your hands, I assume.
Even unlock, Sky. This is not somebody that you would recognize.
That's a nice lock screen you have there.
Remind me really quick, Sky. Did you grow up here? Did you move here?
We never got that far in my character creation.
Okay. You and I will work on that. For right now, we will say you did not grow up here.
All right, didn't grow up here.
Yeah. So this is not somebody that you would recognize.
I've never seen this woman.
What brings you to the library this late at night, man?
Just some personal reading.
Some personal reading. How is it that you get the lovely librarian to keep the doors open for you?
Over to the DM for a minute.
Yeah, I'm typing something to you. Let me know if this works. Sorry, we're so for anybody who's watching, Sky could not make it last week, so we're kind of in a scramble to work his character in. So forgive the minor hiccups here.
Also, while this is happening, Rudolph has had an epiphany and has pulled out some more paper and is trying to draw the rune as best he can remember it.
Where are you sending me the message on?
In Zoom.
How do I get Zoom message?
There's a chat bubble towards the bottom. You click on it, it'll open up a group. It'll open the chat window.
The chat window should appear on the right of the
Nah,
screen.
I understand. Technology is hard.
And if you don't see the chat, but the little bubble at the
But
bottom,
not as hard as I am right now.
there's a button that says more.
No, I'm used to this. I just think she wants my autograph.
Oh,
Okay,
gee.
I have
I know
the group
what
chat
your-
open, but I
I know
didn't.
what your vice
I
is.
just sent it to you. It should have just popped up.
No, it's not. It's not my vice. It's my character background, actually.
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay, so there you go.
All right. What was the question I was just asked again?
Dr. Grudge had asked you how you had gotten permission from the library lady, Miss Jenkins. How come you were also allowed late night, and Miss Jenkins was willing to let you in there?
Because Miss Jenkins is gay for.
I'm
shit!
giving you the answer to that right now.
By the way, while they're doing all this, Connor, I'll be passing a hip flask back and forth to you while I'm walking back.
It's a
'cause-
Yeah, you
long
guys
walk.
have kind of a long walk. But what you guys are going to notice as you're walking, there is no sign of that mist. There is no sign of those mist babies. It's like it didn't happen on your
Oh, that's
right.
what we're calling them, fucking mist babies.
Okay, so Connor is going to take Jack's flask and take a long pull off of it and then hand it back to him. And then he's going to reach into the pocket of his jacket and pull out his own flask and start drinking off of that one, too.
You'll realize when you take a hit from that flask that it's very high top shelf whiskey.
It's like,
I was about to say, what,
oh,
medical
no, I'm drinking
ethanol?
This is not high top shelf whiskey. This is fucking, it's like jet fuel.
Okay, I got the answer.
He's going to be talking to Jack for a second. He's going to be like, so I came back here with you for two reasons. One, I need to get in my car because, well, let's just say I don't want to leave any evidence behind of us being at that hotel. And number two, because if there's not any police there already when we get there, maybe you can give me a hand. I want to at least knock on a couple doors adjacent to this room and try and gather a little bit of information.
It's fair.
Now,
I mean-
here's the thing though, is that I mean, I'm not gonna hurt anybody or anything, but I would like to do this a little bit, more well, I guess a little bit more aggressively, if you're okay with that, just so we can get this process sped up a little bit.
Well, let's put it this way. I draw the line if you actually put hands on someone, but to do a little intimidation, you're not hurting them.
Good. Hey, well, you'll learn, hanging out with me that I'm not that kind of guy unless I absolutely need to be. So yeah, no, intimidation is exactly what I was going for. What I mean is my face will be covered when I'm doing this because I don't want anybody to know who the fuck I am.
Fair enough.
I'm not good at a lot of things, Jack, but the things I am good at are, well, not such nice things.
Just to give you an idea, I grew up on the east side of Detroit. I kind of got the idea of what you're kind of hinting at. It's okay. I know what you mean.
Cool. I'm from South Boston, so we can get along just right.
You're feeling what I'm spitting out here. You get it.
Can you smell what I'm stepping in, Jack? Can you smell what I'm
Let's
stepping
put it this way: 8 Mile is very, very homey for me. So
Just because we're running low on time and we can wrap this all up, as Connor and Jack are walking down, kind of building up a better rapport than most anybody else has built up. And I will pick up right from there. We're going to actually lead in with you two at the top of the next match. But just so we can close out this last little bit of the library, Sky, go ahead and tell them why you are here late, and we will end that.
Me and Miss Jenkins were having a conversation about the town history, and she let me stay and do some research of my own. Being a bit of a murder fanatic, or horror fanatic, as I am.
Well, you like.
Oh, so she's into gore porn.
So, before you guys respond, that's just where we'll leave off. Sky is in the building and gave you a little bit of information. the librarian is interested in the history of the town and the murders, as is Sky. And Jack and Connor are headed back to the motel to retrieve some items and are kind of giving a little bit of background on each other, building up a little bit of a, call it friendship, a little bit better rapport than sort of anybody else in the group has at this point, due to a pseudo-similar background. And that's actually where we will end tonight's game. So
thank you for joining us for episode 2. We promise to fix some of the audio issues for next time. Holy fuck. Yeah, thanks for joining, everyone.
Bye.
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 Later.
Let me know when we're out, Eduardo.
I'm about it. This is awesome.
Cool.
I just got into it.